Today, I'm joined by some of our Year 5 learners who've been doing some amazing stuff in their English lessons, and they'd like to tell you about their writing. So could you start off by saying what you've been learning about in your English lessons?
This half-term, we have been learning about compound and complex sentences, expanded noun phrases, direct speech, and relative clauses leading up to our battle scene narrative.
We've been learning about Greek myths, one of which is Theseus and the Minotaur, and we've been learning to write some of our own myths using Greek hero names and creatures from their stories.
In our English, we have been learning about several things: different types of sentences, expanded noun phrases, punctuation in speech, senses and relative clauses to lead up to our battle scene.
And how does this learning link to your ancient Greek learning quest?
This links to our ancient Greek learning because the battle scene was based on a Greek myth and hero, such as Medusa or Perseus, or in my case, Medusa and Helena.
This learning links to our ancient Greek learning quest because we can use expanded noun phrases to visualise the characters, and by using direct speech, we can bring the characters to life.
I think it is helpful as we can understand what the ancient Greeks were like, what their stories were about, and how they're different to us. So we're using our learning quest knowledge about the ancient Greeks to make sure our writing is more interesting as we know more facts.
And what do you think you've got better at this half term with your writing? And how do you help yourself improve?
This half-term, I think I have got better at editing my own work and finding ways to independently improve. I help myself improve by writing a tally next to the success criteria once I have
Feature my writing and how the sentences and paragraphs flow within my story.
As Mr. Clark stated, every piece of writing is better than the last because you know more than you did in your last piece. I think almost everything was better in this piece and I edited well.
And I thoroughly enjoyed reading your pieces of writing. Could I ask you, what are you most proud of in your battle scene narrative? And could you share us a section?
I am most proud of my third paragraph because my battle was very intense and you don't know what will come next. Helena charged towards where she thought the Gorgon was, but missed. As Helena fell and tripped, the Gorgon started to slither over to her, ready to pounce on her prey any second. She pounced, but fortunately, Helena dodged her at the last second. Helena, who was finding it difficult to see without looking into the Gorgon's horrifying bloodshot eyes, crashed into a wall and collapsed. As Helena's head made contact with the cold, wet ground, her mind filled with a kaleidoscope of colours as bright as a rainbow. As Helena's eyes flickered open, she saw a glint of a mirror and slowly reached over to grab it. She had got it.
I'm most proud of my first paragraph because I think I introduced the hero well. Whilst Helena cautiously crept through the warm, abandoned desert, she tightened her strong golden armour in preparation for battle. She tucked her bright blonde hair behind her ears as she approached the deep, bubbling volcano. Helena, who was one of the toughest women in Greece, could feel the scorching, blistering heat of the volcano wipe across her face as she carefully dodged the solid grey rocks.
I think the dialogue in the middle, as it was building towards a proper battle scene, is my best section. Dracus turned a corner and came across a colossal hairy beast. The savage, who was feasting on a live man, did not notice the young warrior. "Leave that poor innocent man alone," Dracus shouted loudly. "You can't tell me what to do, young boy," the menacing beast mumbled with a mouthful of slobber. Suddenly the Cerberus stood up, turned around and sat down. "Don't turn your back on me," the young hero shouted angrily. The Cerberus, who was a three-headed dog, did not listen to Dracus.
Wow, those were all fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing them with me. And finally, I'd like to ask, Why do you think it's important that we keep learning and developing our English knowledge and skills?
So that when we want to share our ideas, we can be clear and understood by others. Also that when we're older, we can use our knowledge in our jobs in the future.
I think it's important we keep developing our English skills because then each time we will get better and better and keep becoming more confident.
We should keep developing and learning because if there's something that we don't get, if we practice it, we will get better and understand it more.
Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast about Year 5 writing.